From Okeechobee, Florida to Crawfordsville, Indiana, this has been a great ATV off-road season. Bill Balance has defended his title, but one final contest remains. Who will be the Ironman? Grand National Cross Country ATV Racing is next on Fox Sports Net. The ATV Grand National Cross Country Series is coming to an end. It is round 13. The first 12 have decided the champion, but plenty of action remains in the heartland of America. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Crawfordsville, Indiana for the final round of the GNCC All-Terrain Vehicle Cross Country Championship Series. I'm Larry Myers. Now, no championship will be decided today. That was taken care of by Bill Balance, the defending champ, at the last race. However, I do not think that the racing is going to be any less intense. Let's bring in my broadcast partner, Mark Hyde. And Mark, Bill has wrapped it up, but we've got a tight battle with three guys who are fighting over second place, and that's going to make it awfully good. And you know what? With the championship already decided, the racing might even be better.
Yes, we have three guys that are only 6 points apart. Matt Smiley, William Yoakley, and Brad Page. And all those guys, they want that number 2 plate when this year is over. Bill already won the championship. You know, he's got nothing to lose today, so he wants to end the year on a winning note. But those next three, they are going to put on a big battle today. We have a huge crowd here, more ATVs than we've seen all year, so I expect nothing but the best from these guys today.
You know, it occurs to me that no matter how intense these guys get going after second place, they still have to go through Bill Balance.
Yes, and Bill, they might think they have an advantage on Bill today. He's riding a 4-stroke today. And the advantage might be that he's on a new machine. It's not that the machine isn't capable, but it's new to Bill. He's never ridden the machine before, and that could be where these guys think they have the advantage, but knowing Bill Balance, he's not thinking that way. He wants to win.
Well, let's find out exactly what he is thinking. He's standing by with our Jen Hildreth.
Thanks, Larry. Well, Mark, you make a good point. Bill, just how long have you had to practice on this bike?
Not that long, actually. I've rode it at home maybe 10 or 15 minutes. You know, we dialed the suspension in the shop before I ever rode it, and we had some clutch problems, but we got those fixed, and I haven't really got that much time on it.
Now, 10 or 15 minutes. Bill, we know you're good, but why did you make the switch?
You know, for a lot of reasons. I want to come out here today and see if a 4-stroke can be competitive. I was thinking about building a 4-stroke next year on an aftermarket chassis maybe. And, you know, maybe to show some people that these stock frames and motors can be competitive out here with the pros. And hopefully that'll be an influence to the aftermarket for the industry as well. You know, Kawasaki, Honda, Suzuki, all the guys that, you know, if they get out here and get behind us, that we could ride some of their bikes and maybe help us both out.
Now, Bill, what changes or adjustments are you going to have to make riding the 4-stroke?
I'm going to be using a lot less clutch out there. It's a real torquey motor. I'll be using taller gears and standing in the throttle a lot more. People may pull me out of the quick turns and stuff, but, you know, through the tight sections, weaving through in and out the trees, I'm going to be able to make up a lot of time there, I think. And we'll just have to go out there and see how it goes.
Well, Bill may have this championship won, but I guarantee there's still going to be some good competition out there. Page, Smiley, Yoakley, they all want to win this race, but tell you what, Bill Balance wouldn't be riding this bike if he didn't think he had a chance to win.
Now, like I said earlier, Mark, this might well be the best race of the season. Let's talk about this racetrack, and who do you expect to do well?
I love the Kentucky trio, Brad Page, William Yoakley, and our champion Balance. Those guys are going to go at it pretty hard. They've been the guys that have been hot lately, but the main star today is this track. It's over about 10 miles long, a lot of little uphills and downhills, some creek crossings, some grass tracks out in these fresh picked cornfields, but then we have the gorge section. And with all these people here today, it could be a deciding factor.
Well, the gorge is everyone's favorite. As a matter of fact, our Bob Walker is in the gorge. Let's see what he has to say.
This is probably the gnarliest section of the track the riders have had to face all year. You got a lot of slate rock down here, like it's sticking right here out of the side of this gorge wall. It's gonna slash tires. Gonna see a lot of flat tires, a lot of water down here. It's gonna be splashing all over the guys. Gloves are gonna be soaked, making it hard to hang on to those handlebars. Tight, narrow gorge here, lined with big trees. It don't move. It's gonna knock these ATV guys on their sides, gonna cause congestion. Once that congestion's caused, how do you get around? Because, look, I can't even walk up the side of this darn thing. It's going to be crazy down here, laps 3, 4, and 5 for these guys. The pros are going to get stuck. They're going to get bottlenecked. No matter what their lead is, this may be where today's race is won or lost.
Thanks, Bob, and that is not the only potential bottleneck on this course. We'll be back with ATV racing on Fox Sports Net. ATV cross-country racing on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by CD Boots, ATV Sport, the #1 sport quad magazine, and by Cannondale. Well, there is a great battle in this race today, and that is for third place. Bob Walker is on the line along with Jen Hildreth. We'll talk to those contenders.
Thanks, Larry. The championship was clinched last week, but the real race today is for second place. Only 6 points separates William Yoakley, Bradley Page, and Matt Smiley. William, what are you going to need to do today to keep that #2 plate?
Win, first of all, and hope they all finish a little ways behind me. But, you know, I don't wish nobody a bad race, you know. So I didn't really even know whether or not there was a chance for me to get it, but I'm just going to go out there and run hard against them and try to come out with a win just to make me feel better going into next year.
All right, let's go over to Jen Hildreth, who's down the line with another second-place contender, Bradley Page.
Thanks, Bob. Brad Page, one of the hottest riders in the series right now. He's won 2 of the last 4, looking for win #3 here today. Brad, do you think you can be the Ironman?
Oh, I'm sure of it. I'm just going to go out here today and have a good time, try and relax, get a good start, do the best I can do. Sort of in a points battle, but I'm going to try and keep it out of focus and go home happy.
Well, Bob Walker is standing by down the line with Matt Smiley.
Thanks, Jen. Matt Smiley is definitely in the hunt for the #2 plate. Injured his thumb a few rounds ago, and it cost him the championship. Matt, what are you going to need to do today to secure that #2 plate?
Well, 5th or better will secure me the 2nd spot for the year, but I'm out here looking for the win today.
All right, it's not all about points today. There's some new developments and new faces here. Let's go down to Jen Hildreth.
Thanks, Bob. Nikki Earlywine has already wrapped up 2nd place in the 200B division. Now she's on to bigger and better challenges. Nikki today looking to become the first woman ever to compete in the GNCC Pro class.
Yeah, I hope so.
What are your feelings? What would you like to get out of this?
Well, this may be the last year I'm racing, so I just thought I'd go out in style and see what it's like up here.
Well, we've got another rider to keep an eye on today. Larry Johnson, he is 52 years old. He is the oldest rider out here in the pro class ever in the GNCC series. Larry, this could be your last race. You're thinking about retiring after this. You're a 3-time senior champion. What do you want to get out of this race today?
I wanted to just have a fun race, play with the big boys. I love the Grand Nationals. It's kind of probably going to be my last year running, and we'll retire. Other than that, I don't know.
Well, you have certainly proved you can race out here at your age. An Ironman, we're at the Ironman GNCC, and I'm standing by here with a true Ironman. And Larry, no matter how these guys finish today, Larry Johnson and Nikki Earlywine are making a little bit of history.
Well, thanks, Jen, and we'll wish the best of luck to Larry and Nikki as we look at the starting lineup. As we told you earlier, Balance has won the championship. Next 3 guys in line are looking for 2nd place. That will be decided here today. Let's go back to Jen on the start line.
Larry, a little background on this event. It is named after a true Ironman, Bob Sloan. He won ATV championships in '89 and '92. He also rode motorcycles but died tragically in '93 in a race. This event is named in his memory.
Well, you had best run, Jen. A whole bunch of iron coming your way as we are underway. Oh, this field is going to have trouble today in the mud, and trouble already marked right off the start.
Yeah, in the back of the pack there, Chris Borich got a late jump off the start. You can see him right in the middle of that gang, Larry. He is in a huge hole right here off the start. But Matt Smiley, he jumped out of there early, and look at him get that 4-wheeler to the ground, get traction, and he is making tracks.
Well, Smiley is up there, Balance is up there. There's Yoakley in 4th place. And way at the back of the pack, Borich, who we thought would be a contender here today. We're going to take another look at it, is pretty much out of it.
Yeah, Smiley, he came in there really good, stayed wide, but stayed on the throttle, and the inside kind of got bunched up there, and Borich, he just plowed into everybody.
Half dozen riders having trouble. We are underway. in Crawfordville, Indiana, with the Ironman final round of the series, and 3 riders already trying to make a break, and there's a 4th one. We'll throw him into the mix. Yeah. Yoakley is all over this racetrack looking for running room to get up front.
And going down that last straightaway, Chad Duvall snuck around Smiley, so he's in the lead going into the woods, and we'll be back with more on Fox Sports Net.
Welcome back to ATV Grand National Cross Country Racing on the net. That is Chad Duvall. He is leading the final round of the series. Right behind him comes Smiley, Yoakley, Huffman, a host of riders, and they are close together.
Yes, they are, and they're going to be that way, I think, for a lot of today, Larry, because with all these creek crossings, I mean, just look at it out there. The lines will develop, and nobody wants to be the guinea pig that just jumps in there and tries to take off, because you could be in for big problems if you do that today.
Yeah, you get behind, you'll have a face full of mud. Now, here is something else that they'll be facing. This is a treacherous hill. It's going to get wet before the day is over, and that will create additional problems. Bob Walker didn't talk about that.
Yeah, we'll see a lot of that today, and that's what I love about this course. Look at the uphills, the downhills, the roots, the rocks. I mean, these guys are in for a battle today, not just with each other, but the course itself.
Chad Duvall is your leader. Riders picking their way through. This is pretty much, at this point, a one-line racetrack. No passing in this area. What you have to do is stay close. You have to hang to the guy in front of him, or in front of you, rather, and hope that you make it through all right. One guy doesn't, and that's where the mess comes in.
Yeah, especially in those ravine sections, it's going to be real narrow, real tough to pass, and when we get into lap traffic, it's going to create all kinds of havoc. But when we get up here in the woods, there's going to be some places some guys can make some slick passes. Oh, look at Bill Balance drop down in there. He got by a couple guys right there, Larry.
Oh, Balance went from 6th place all the way to 4th. He's the only guy that saw that line, but you know what? Next time around, everyone will use that line that was behind Balance. Quick update. Larry Johnson in 13th. Nikki Earlywine, she's the lady that's riding and making history here, doing very, very well out on the racetrack. I think probably as well as or better than they expected. Look at this gnarly track. Boy, is that going to get rutted before the day is over.
Yes, it is, and like Bill Balance did that last section. Oh, look, Bill here off to the left side of the screen using another alternate line, trying to get around some people.
At this early part of the race, they spent a lot of time sorting things out, making a pass here and there. We're going to go into the pits while that is happening. Bob Walker has a safety tip for ATV riders.
Hey guys, with the rapid growth of ATV riding, there's also been more injuries with the sport. People go out joyriding, they're always in a hurry to get out there and get going on the bike, and they forget to put on boots. They go out, wear their tennis shoes or their work boots, and end up hurting their ankles or feet. Well, I've been able to round up Alex Balin from CD Boots to tell us a little bit more about foot safety when riding your ATV. Alex, tell us what you guys got going on over at CD with your boots now.
Well, you're right. That's one of the first mistakes ATV riders do is they just go out there and put on these work boots and go out there and ride. If you notice, there is absolutely no support in these boots. If you go over here and look at our boot, it gives you the most ankle support that you can get from a boot, allowing you to go forward and backwards, but not side to side. This boot will not bend side to side. Also giving you a firm, stiff sole, so taking the pressure from the pegs and not hitting your foot. A gaiter is also another part that's a good part of this boot. It keeps all the water and all the dirt out of it. All three things combined is what makes CD a reputable boot for its safety.
And safety should be your prime consideration before you get on any kind of a vehicle in the woods. Thanks, Alex. Hey, Yoakley has taken the #1 position. Duvall is in 2nd, and Smiley is now in 3rd place.
Yes, and Smiley, I was wondering how long he'd be able to hang up here in the front, because remember, he's got that injured thumb, so it'll be interesting to see if he can stay with the leaders all day today.
Well, when you're out front, pains mysteriously go away, and there is Yoakley making his way through that dreaded gorge. Boy, that is tight in there. Really nasty stuff.
Yes, it's extremely tricky in sections like that. Oh, look what we have here, Larry. Matt Smiley has worked his way back around Chad Duvall into that 2nd position. So that pain you talked about, he's not thinking about that right now.
As we watch Chad Duvall in 3rd place, Mark, it occurs to me, this track is technical.
Yeah, this is the 13th race we've had this year, Larry, and it is by far the toughest. We had over 5 inches of rain earlier in the week. With all these hills and gullies, it just is going to make for awesome passing all day today.
This is the battle for 4th place.
With Santo DeRisi.
Yeah, DeRisi's in 4th.
Jeremiah Jones, our motocross buddy, he's right behind him with Bill Balance right on his neighbor Jeremiah Jones's tail.
So we've got really 3 separate races on the racetrack right now. One for first and another one back there for fourth. But Yoakley is turning this into a shambles. He didn't want to race with those guys for the lead.
No, and we've seen William do this earlier in the year. He'll just hang it all out and charge out early. Sometimes it's led to mistakes, but it always makes it exciting.
Yoakley and Smiley opening up gaps over this rider, Chad Duvall, who's in third.
Yeah, but that's not a bad place to be. This track is so technical. There's going to be lead changes all day. There's going to be a lot of passing. You can see the water holes, these ravines, the hills. Oh, as we get ready, here comes Santo DeRisi. He's moving up real well. He's had some strong rides this year, been a little bit inconsistent, and with Bill Balance right behind him there, he's going to be struggling even more, I think.
Mark, because there are no places to pass in this section, is DeRisi holding things up?
It could be, but you know, he was back a little bit further, and he's actually moved into fourth, so maybe not.
Well, no one's holding him up. Look how tight this wood section is. Yoakley just picking his way through the trees. He's riding by far at this juncture the best race of the season for him.
Yes, he is, and he's being real aggressive. And a lot of guys on a course this technical, they don't want to charge that hard because it's easy to make a mistake. You pick a wrong line through one of these mud holes or on these hills, and your day's pretty much shot. But William, he's said, you know, it's the last race. You know, I got to think about this all winter. I want to go out on top.
He pretty much told us that was his intent at the top of the show. DeRisi now in fourth place. He makes the right-hander, followed closely by Jeremiah Jones, the motocross guy. There's Bill Balance. He's in seventh place. Bill is the subject of our Cannondale Rider Spotlight. We talked to him about the pressure of repeating as a champion.
I put a lot of pressures on myself. I wanted to come back and repeat and get another championship. You know, that I guess being the champion one time, you know, everybody wonders if you can come back and do it again, and it puts a lot of pressure on you yourself. And expectations, you know, I expected myself to go out and perform and win races, and if you don't, then I don't think you can put the adequate pressure on yourself that you need to go out and win races. And when it comes down to the last lap and you're having to push so hard and you're hurting and wore out and your hands are bleeding and everything else, you know, it's hard to dig down deep sometimes to do what extra you need to get across the finish line first. And you know, I think between the expectations I put on myself and that's made the series what it is.
Well, he has handled those pressures admirably, you might say, as we get into the grass track. Might call that a corn track. Either track you call it. Yoakley is going fast as he continues to extend his lead, and that is why. He took a quick look over his shoulder. He sees absolutely no one.
Yeah, he is just out there flooring it. You see him looking back. I recall back at North Carolina when he won his first GNCC of the year on the last lap, you were making fun of him and said, William, quit looking, ride forward, go forward. That's what you need to do today.
Well, I want, you know, I think he's even surprised that he is so far ahead. He keeps looking over like, I don't believe it. Hey, we'll be back with more on Fox Sports Net. Welcome back to GNCC ATV Cross Country Racing on Fox Sports Net. This network is home to some of the finest racing you're going to find anywhere. And this guy right now, William Yoakley, is turning in one of the finest races, not only of, well, I think this season, but maybe of his career. He's not put a wheel out of place.
No, he hasn't, but he needs to stop looking back. You know those guys are back there. He needs to focus on the racetrack and just keep going forward because these guys, they're looking for him. He shouldn't be looking for them.
Now, Yoakley is on lap 2. They're just coming through the checkpoint at the end of lap 1, and Bill Balance is stopping for gas. Now, that's a little on the unusual side.
Yeah, he's got some other problems there, Larry. He's hollering at his pit crew. I think something, they're working on the front end there. He must have a problem. He could have hit something, got back, but he figures as long as he's in working on it, he'd get some gas.
They had a spray can of lubrication, like maybe the front end was sticking, not turning properly, and they were trying to loosen up with something. WD-40 is the standard bottle in your toolkit to do that. We'll keep an eye on it as that hill is crested by William Yoakley, and that thing is getting nastier and nastier. Look how muddy the exit to the creek is right now. Well, as the race goes on, that hill will get wetter and wetter.
And Duvall, he's into second, back up around Smiley into second place. And you can tell by the amount of spectators here that this is going to be a tricky section. You don't go and stand in the woods to just watch a guy ride by. You want some action.
That's kind of a rider's morning, is it not?
Oh yeah, that's kind of, you know, when you see the big flashing lights at an accident, these people do the same thing.
Now Jones was in 4th place. Here comes our leader.
Yeah, William Yoakley, he is just going all out on the start of this course. And when you have a race this long in duration, oh, and look, here's Balance. He's back going again. We'll see if he can catch back up to the front of the pack.
Now he's in 5th. DeRisi and Huffman have had some kind of a problem out in the woods. They have dropped back a ways to allow Balance to not only stop in the pits for gas, work on the front end, but get up to the number 5 position.
Yes, we're going to see a lot of that today, Larry, because this course is so technical. You can go from 1st to 3rd, back to 5th, and then back up into the lead. We've seen that all day. And this slippery course, too, that 4-stroke for Bill, it should hook up a little bit better, and I look for him to get back up to the front of the pack before long.
Jones, not a stranger to GNCC racing, but he does not have the experience of his counterparts. He generally races motocross. That season over, he won the championship out here enjoying the life in the woods with the Woods Riders. Here's Bill Balance in 5th place and making the most of it.
Yeah, here we have Yoakley back out in front, and William, oh, look at him hit that rut there. This course is going to be very taxing. They'll be out here for over 2 hours, and between that and the difficult course, it's going to be really rough on the guys today.
Here's Matt Smiley in 2nd place through the water.
And look at Matt, he's taking a little bit different line than William did through that section. He's staying down in the water. Now he's going up on the bank, but getting up looked a little better than that line that William took.
Now Matt Smiley, you know, they know that William is running away with this thing at this particular time. Does Matt want to, oh, what do we got here?
Oh, that's Jeremiah Jones, our motocrosser. This course is going to be really difficult for him. Earlier in the year, they were fast, easier courses, but this one you got to pick lines, you got to ride smart, and I think it's going to take its toll on him today.
Jones took an alternate line, and there's Bill Balance. He's stuck.
Now, I wouldn't expect this out of Bill. I thought after he got that bike worked on, he'd be making a charge. Boy, and that bike, as he's revving it up there, doesn't sound quite right, Larry. It sounds like it's missing just a little bit, and he's got himself in a predicament. And if this is happening to our champ, just think about the other guys out there, how much of a struggle this is going to be.
Struggle? You want to talk struggle? Let's go back to lap 1 for our thrill seeker shot of the day. I'll show you struggle. An unidentified rider works his way to the top of the hill. Here comes another guy right behind him. Whoa! Second guy's in trouble? No. He just puts it in neutral. He's going to drift back down the hill. Look at this.
Oh, man. That guy, he's probably not going to be too happy about that, but his local dealer is going to love him after that crash.
It ended up upright, and it looks like it's perfectly okay. Now, this guy is not in a big hurry to get back to it, and I don't blame him.
No, but speaking of being in a big hurry, William Yoakley, he's been that way since the green flag dropped, and he has got his Kawasaki out front and moving.
He is on the gas, something fierce. Now, another rider, that's unidentified. That's the same guy. Mark, that's the same guy on lap 2. Is that the same hill?
It's not the same hill, and his other one was better. The bike actually ended up on the wheels, where this time he's got to go back down and flip it over to get it going again.
He wasn't going anywhere. He was going to sit there and ride this out. He's had enough of that. Oh, boy.
I think I just watched Smiley and the rest of the boys have at it today because they are tearing this up.
Car Moto Cam for the first time today. We will jump in behind one of the riders on the course, and it is our leader, William Yoakley.
Yes, and every time we see these guys, they're on a different section of the course, and you can just see the variety we have today.
Welcome back to Fox Sports Net. This is GNCC ATV Racing, and the guy in green is your leader. He's trying to get around a lapped rider. This course is so tight, so technical, that is a handful. Tough to do. Bill Balance back in 5th place.
Yeah, you know it's a tough course when you see Bill back in 5th, but I think he needed to spend a little bit more time than 15 minutes getting this quad set up for today. Because today's course with the technical sections, you're going to have real good throttle control, excellent line choices if you're going to have a good result today.
Here's a battle for 2nd place. Smiley and Duvall. They could reach out and touch someone, touch each other if they wanted to at this point. It has not been that close throughout most of the day. There have been gaps between them. Now we'll go back to a battle for 6th place.
Yes, Brian Baker and Brad Page. Brad, he's been the kid that's been extremely hot since the summer break, and I'm surprised he's kind of back this far. He just didn't get a good jump off the line, and maybe with this tight course, he's struggling getting through the pack a little bit.
Jeremiah Jones in fourth place. We saw him just a moment ago. He was hung up momentarily as Yoakley puts one more into the book, and he puts some fuel into his tank along with some fresh goggles. Well, that's got to be great. You'll be able to see when you go back out there.
A little bit of a wheelie, and he's on his way. His crew did a great job right there. They got him in and out in a hurry. And the nice thing about that, it doesn't give the guys behind him to get even a glimpse at him. And when you can't see a guy, it's kind of tough to reel him in.
Balanced his bike up that hill. Sounded like it was still missing just a little bit. And look at this battle. Look at this battle to end lap number 2. Oh, boy.
Boy, Larry, these guys have been swapping the place all day today. Every time we see them, they're back around each other.
Now that's Chad Duvall. He came into the pits in second place. Now, a few pits down the road, that's where Smiley is. He's getting fuel. Which one will be out first? Duvall was there a long time, and Smiley was gone. He was gone by the time Duvall finished. In fact, Duvall had no one to even look at or chase. Smiley had a quick stop.
Then Jeremiah Jones, he's coming into the pits here, and as a rider, you love it when your pit crew is that efficient the way Smiley's was. That's the easiest way to pass a guy. When you don't have to do anything, your pit crew did all the work for you at that spot right there.
Now, there seems to be no rush for Jones to get going again. They're just casually refueling, changing goggles, and he is out. But he spent way too much time in the pits for a contender, for a guy that rides as fast as he does. And Bill Balance coming in, and he made some kind of motion. He's going to stop again.
Yes, Larry, he's still struggling with that front end, and his gloves are wet, so the crew's got to get something done up there.
Now, round 6 of the series in Sparta, Kentucky was an important one for Bill Balance. Continuing our Cannondale Rider Spotlight, we asked Bill why.
I was really focused on what I needed to do, and the points battle was really tight. I had some pressure on me. I wanted to get back out in the points lead, and I had to ride my heart out that day, and it was dusty conditions. It was a rough track. My bike wasn't really working all that well. You know, we changed some suspension, and it wasn't doing just like what we needed it to, and you don't know that until you get out on the track. But I really had to dig deep that day and battle back, and was able to come through with the win. That was my hardest earned win all year.
Now, Bill is faced with the same problems today. The bike is not working all that well. Definitely a front-end problem as they're trying to lubricate the ball joints there, I believe. And we know also, although they weren't messing with it, that his engine is not running all that well.
No, it's not. And Brad Page, this is a big chance for him. Boy, he and Baker, they're in here together. We've got a bunch of neat battles here on the racetrack today.
Fighting for 6th place. The fuel is going into Baker's bike. He's the guy furthest away from the camera, and this is Page, and Baker's out of here. Baker came in after Page. Page has got problems. What's going on?
He's got wet gloves. They're trying to get new gloves on his hands, and they're struggling to get it done. Now, this is the second time today, Larry, we've seen a pass made in the pits.
So Page is underway after losing that position. We'll jump up to Duvall and Smiley out in the grass track, or corn track, if you will, and they are cutting fast times.
Yes, they are, and Duvall, he's reeled Smiley in a little bit. Remember, when we left the pits, you couldn't even see Smiley, and Duvall's hot after him.
Is that an advantage to have someone to shoot for, or is it the advantage to be out front and try to run away?
On a course like this, you kind of like to be the guy in the back because of all the difficulties we have out there today.
They'll disappear into the woods, and the battle will continue there. There is our leader, William Yoakley. And Yoakley is still doing nothing. Whoa, he slams into a rut, comes to an abrupt halt. We'll go to the Core Moto Cam and take a tour of this racetrack behind one of the riders.
Yeah, there's Chad Duvall. He's the wily old veteran. He's trying to track down Matt Smiley for about the 4th or 5th time today.
Those guys have been back and forth. It's like passing each other on an escalator, up and down, up and down, up and down. Yoakley, Smiley, Duvall, Jones. We got a lot more coming up. This is ATV racing. You want to be a racer? Not me, I'll guarantee you. Hey, we've been tracking a couple of riders, Nikki Earlywine and Larry Johnson. Nikki's the first female to ever race in the pro class. Well, you see how they're doing. Meanwhile, Jen Hildreth takes a look at the newest company to join the ranks of the ATVs in GNCC racing. Jen, what do you have for us?
Well, Larry, making their world debut at the GNCC this year was a milestone for Cannondale. And Steve Holbert placing 3rd in West Virginia was something truly special. The results were better than many expected from a company that until last year only made bikes that required you to pedal your way to the finish line.
A lot of the world has felt like we've kind of making this maybe in some back room of our bicycle factory. That's not the way Cannondale does anything. You know, we decide we're going to do something, we do it.
Known as an innovator in bicycles, when it was decided to move into the motorsports market, the operation had to be done in-house, even down to the smallest part, in order to do things right.
We started out thinking we would buy an engine, but we couldn't find one that delivered the power that we wanted and would allow us to address the ergonomic issues that we felt were critical to making a state-of-the-art product.
In 1998, plans were introduced to manufacture and market off-road motorcycles. After many frustrating months designing, testing, retooling, and spending tens of millions of dollars, Cannondale began shipping the MX400, and this February, the first ATV model.
We had core technologies in aluminum, we had core technologies in suspension. We didn't know anything about engines. And we now have developed a very strong group. I mean, we know a lot about four-stroke engines today, and what works and what doesn't work. And we know a lot about fuel injection today. We can do things today with our engine and our products that our competition can't do.
What drives the people who are designing and building these machines? Joe knows the secret to success.
I mean, I think when you walk around this place, and you look into the eyes of those people out there, it's intense. Failure is not an option, you know.
No options for this guy, William Yoakley. He has led since the outset of this race, continues to do so, continues to put considerable distance between himself and the rest of the field. Big lead. The guy is not backing off a bit. Bill Balance, meanwhile, has continued to... he made it. I thought he was going to get hung up there. Continue to struggle. The bike is not running right. The front end makes it so it isn't handling right. He's having his problems here today.
You know, Larry, too, along with Bill Balance thought there, this is the only race this year where he hasn't led a lap or some point in time this race. And speaking of not leading, this guy, he saw that hill and said, no way, buddy, I don't want a part of that. But Brian Baker, he's going to show the guy the quick way up there.
And Baker makes it with no problem at all. Now, big difference between Balance and Baker going up that hill. You just got to think that Balance's bike, although we don't know for sure, is not running properly. Duncan Racing's Smiley in second place, and he has some traffic. That's a problem.
Yes, it is, and you're going to see that in those tight technical sections like that, and it's just letting William Yoakley get further and further away. And when they get to those big hills like that, man, you got to get a good drive at the bottom so you can make them up there.
Jones in fourth place. It occurs to me as we watch Jones that we have not seen Yoakley held up by anything in this race. Everything is falling his way today.
Yeah, and you have days like that, and you know, there's still a lot of racing left, so that could still happen to him, but right now it seems like it's been his day, everything's going his way, and Smiley and Chad Duvall, these are the two guys that are hooking up here and having a knockdown, drag-out race.
There comes Bill Balance. See, Balance is just struggling. He is struggling. Oh, the guy in front of him. No wonder he was struggling.
Man, that guy took a big hit from Bill, but
look at Balance. He's pushing him up the hill.
He's telling the guy, you know, you don't even have to start that thing. I'm just going to push you out of here.
That guy, he's got to be, he wants to turn around and look, but he's afraid to, and I don't blame him. Incredible power, incredible traction to that four-stroke. Now, there was nothing wrong with the machine there.
No, I think it was one of those things. Bill's been struggling a little bit with bike setup today, and he had a good drive going. Oh, here's Duvall and Smiley again. They are just neck and neck. But Bill had a good drive going up that hill, and he didn't want to back out of it for anything.
And he didn't. He didn't. Now, that shortcut that he picked out on lap number one that gained him a couple of positions, that's in play, and we have seen every rider on the racetrack use that since Bill found it for him. And there is Jones once again. He's still holding on to the number 4 position. Jones doing well.
And ever since he started riding GNCCs this fall, he's been a consistent top 5 runner. And if he keeps this Woods riding up, he can win a race or two next year.
Good to have you with us on Fox Sports Net as we watch the final round of the GNCC Ironman. Hey, we got Yoakley into the pits, and Yoakley is off his machine. The leader is off his machine.
Yes, he is, Larry. They've got it up on the side. They're working on putting on a new right tire. He's got a flat back there. And this is a pattern we've seen about William all year. Rides hard, gets himself in trouble, and then loses the race. We'll see if he can hold it on. Second place still isn't through the barrels yet, Larry.
Lug wrench, applying the torque to that new wheel. You know what, the engine is still running. They have not shut the engine off. Second place has not come around. That is not second, folks. Here is Yoakley still leading this race. Comes in with a flat, changes the wheel, drops it, and he's out of the pits, and he still has a healthy lead.
Yes, he does. His pit crew just did an outstanding job. And Brad Page just going up the hill there. He's all the way up into 4th place. And the young guy, he's coming on hard just like he has all season so far here at the end.
Through the corn track goes Yoakley. You know, Yoakley has no idea what kind of lead he has. So he will be gassing it on this last lap through the field, through the woods, every place he goes.
Yeah, what he needs to do, Larry, they jump out into the cornfield there early on in the lap, and he's got some good vision behind him. He needs to take a quick opportunity, look back behind him, make sure nobody's there, and be calm. Don't get out of control. He needs to stay away from that, because if he does that, he's just going to make more mistakes and maybe lose this race.
Brian Baker in 5th place, stops for some gloves. He's taking a little extra time trying to dry the hands off. This last lap is going to be critical, possibly will decide second place overall in the series. In fact, it will decide second place.
Yes, because all the guys that are battling over that number 2 plate, they're up near the front. We got Yoakley out front, Page and Smiley, they're back in 3rd and 4th. And this is the section, boy, that Balance was giving the guy a little extra effort up through there.
The pros make it look so easy as they power their way. That's Jones, Jeremiah Jones' machine. Now, that's not Jones, that's his machine. And there he is. You know what? He's explaining to the track announcer how he got stuck and why he couldn't get the machine out. Well, we saw why he couldn't get it out. And Bill Balance having trouble.
Boy, Larry, we talked about it earlier. That bike is just not running good. But this course, these guys, these are our top guys in the whole United States out here, and we're seeing them drop left and right. I wonder if any of them will be left by the end of this day.
Well, at the top of the show, Bob Walker talked about trouble on the, he talked about this situation. And there goes, that's Page. Page, he's trying to run up on the side of the hill. Walker talked about that. Remember, he couldn't even walk on the side of that hill.
Yes.
He's stuck, and here comes, look at this. That's Smiley. They're teammates on the Duncan Racing team.
Yeah, they're battling for 3rd and 4th place right here, and also 2nd place for the year. And while these guys are all hung up in here, Yoakley and Duvall, they're just out getting away.
That's a heck of a place to have a team meeting, I'll tell you. You just don't want to do it there. My heart goes out to them. You don't know how tired they have to be after everything that they have gone through, and to possibly end the race right there. Wow.
Oh, that'd be heartbreaking. And in that quad, it weighs over 300 pounds, and to get that thing up and righted again.
Mark, there goes Chad Duvall in 2nd place. He'll take that shortcut. Now we're going to take another look at what happened back in the mud. Now, those riders that are stuck are not in contention, but you can see Page, he tried to get enough drive to get up on that hill, make the corner, and get around him. He just didn't quite get enough or high enough. You know, another 2 foot, he'd have been free and clear. Now, here comes Smiley right behind him. He'll try the same tactic, but he hits the front end of Page's machine, and now he's in his lap. Oh, boy.
Yeah, if he could have cleared that front wheel of Brad there, he'd have had it made. That was a great idea that those guys had. You can't sit there and wait for those guys to get out of the way, but it backfired on both of them. And Yoakley, he's
he's not waiting for anyone, is he?
No, he's not. He's hit everything perfect. Oh, and Bill Balance is in the pits, Larry. He looks like he's done for the day, and the experiment didn't quite pan out the way he wanted it.
Bill, darn it, you had yourself a good season, and you deserve a break. You've been fighting through 12 rounds. You've won the championship. Go ahead and take it easy. Mark and I give you our permission. Chad Duvall soldiering away out on the racetrack. He's all alone in 2nd place. I don't think he knows what kind of lead he has, as Yoakley takes his 2nd win of the season.
Yeah, that was a great ride on Williams' part today. He wanted to, try to keep that number 2 plate, and by winning, he did everything he could today.
The battle for 3rd still rages with Smiley and Page. Now, Smiley has 2nd place in the series wrapped up. Here comes Duvall in for 2nd place in the race. Outstanding effort on his part. And here comes Smiley. He's going to take 3rd place for the day. And Page, with a flat rear tire, takes 4th. GNCC ATV Racing has been brought to you by CD Boots and by KTM Sport Motorcycles. Welcome back to the net as round 13, the season finale of the GNCC series, is history for the ATVs. There is our champion, Bill Balance. 2 years in a row, he has won that title. Retired early today to make time, I think, for, well, he'll say that it was the machine problems, but I think he just wanted to get into the pits and sign autographs. Take a look at the finishing positions. We were tracking two racers throughout the race. Larry Johnson, he was the senior champion that went pro for a day. There he is, 13th. And we were looking at Nikki Earlywine. Nikki, you'll recall, was the first woman to participate in the pro class. She finished 21st. Let's go down to Jen.
Larry, it's been a long time since William Yoakley was up here in first place, but William, the last time was round 3. It had to feel good wire-to-wire first place today and getting back up here with the win.
Yeah, it feels real good. It's been a long time. I had a lot of tough luck holding me back all year and had to play catch-up in a lot of races, and felt good to get out in front and pull a little lead, and had a little tough luck. Got stuck a few times. It wasn't in no way an easy race, and I had a flat tire, and I thought I gave it all away there on the last lap, but then it all came out good.
Now, you mentioned you had that flat tire. You've had bad luck when you've been out front before. Were you just worried every bump, every sound? Was it making you nervous that last lap?
Well, I just tried to play it smooth, and I knew I couldn't. Getting excited wasn't going to help nothing, you know. The bike, back Kawasaki ran good all day long, and the road design chassis that was, just through all that rough stuff, and those whole shot tires just pulled me through all the mud holes. I got stuck a couple of times, but that was pretty much my error, picked a bad line, but everything worked really good. I'm really happy.
Well, you should be happy. You picked some good lines out there, William. You won the toughest race of the season. Final standings, Bill Balance winning his second title in a row, and Matt Smiley wrapping up second place with his finish today. Let's go to Bob Walker, who is with Chad Duvall.
Thanks, Larry. Chad Duvall equaling his best finish of the year, which was also in the mud in Clarksburg, West Virginia. Chad, you were running up front all day long. Where did you make that pass for second? How'd you make it stick?
Me and Matt, we duked her out all day. We came to one of them lines where there were 6 different ways to go, and you had to pick and choose which way he was going to go, and he picked the wrong way, and I got by him there and never looked back.
All right, Chad. Let's go over to Jen Hildreth, who's with our third place finisher.
Thanks, Bob. Well, we've talked about some true Ironmen here today, and Matt Smiley has to fall into that category. Matt, you rode today with a fractured thumb, but still got back up here on the podium. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I took off. I got the whole shot. My Duncan engine, that's got me 2 whole shots in a row here. We got into it a little bit, a few miles in. Chad passed me. Didn't really want to lead the first lap anyhow because I wanted to watch him go through the stream crossings. We swapped a little bit, and then William Yoakley got out in front, and he pulled away from us a little bit. Me and Chad had a little battle going. I got hung up. He got away from me, and I just kind of rode in third for pretty much the rest of the race. Got hung up in a bottleneck towards the end. Brad Page got by me, but he had a flat tire, and I knew I could get him back in one of these field sections, so I'm happy to finish second on the year with third place here today.
There you have it, guys. Matt Smiley rounding out the final podium of the season.
And we'll offer our congratulations to all the competitors, not just those on the podium. And in particular to these guys. They have raced hard all year long. Now, we have seen throughout the season riders other than pros competing on the various courses we've been to. Well, here are the champions of those classes, and they race tough. Just as tough, as a matter of fact, as the pros do. Let's go to Bob Walker. He is standing by after catching up with our defending and new champ, Bill Balance.
Larry, I'm down here with our champion, Bill Balance. Bill, not the way you wanted to finish the season off, is it?
No, it's not, but I got to go out there today and do some experimenting, and that's basically what I was wanting to do, try to get some ideas for next year. I think here in a couple of years, everybody's going to have to go 4-stroke, and it's giving me some good ideas as to how that might work and plans that I might need to make in the future.
All in all, you have to be happy how the season ended up, though.
Oh, yeah, I'm happy, wrapping the championship points up with the race to go and not having to come out here and worry about it today. It was nice, but, there's a lot of people come down here today to watch, and, when I went to the starting line, I was like, I wished I was on my race bike so I could go out there and win for all these people that's come from home up here to watch. But, I got to think about things in the future and try to keep the edge, at least with my equipment, and this was a good process to do that.
All right, next year when we return to Okeechobee, Florida for round 1, Bill Balance will have that #1 plate again, and everyone's going to have to chase Bill Balance and beat him to get that #1 plate back from him.
Now for Bob Walker and Jen Hildreth down in the pits. Guys, it's been a pleasure all year long. And Mark, Glad to share this broadcast booth with you in the inaugural season of ATV racing. So long, everyone. I'm Larry Myers.